I stay in the house. Bike pulls in my driveway. I walk out and she's in the car making out with these people.
In front of your house?
Yeah.
Did you cheat on your husband 11 times?
No, I did not, but yes, I did cheat on him.
She on the job messing around to take care of the kids.
I'm on the job messing around with another man. I'm 12 hours in a dog bed factory.
If that's how you got his phone number.
If you would have been taking care of business, no other man would have been able to even talk to me, but you were too busy fighting.
I understand that.
Responsible? How are you having sex for 11 years and never using protection?
Well, who's to say I'm irresponsible? Okay, yeah, I could have.
I'm telling you are. For 11 years having sex and you're not using protect? Really?
I don't think that means I'm irresponsible.
You don't?
No.
Buckle up, folks, as Judge Lake rolls out the carpet on the dramatic Fritz Vroo's Aji case. Mr. Fritz has been on a 3-decade quest to locate his biological daughter, whom he believes was unfairly taken from him. He finally traced Ms. Aji on Facebook after all these years and is here today to confirm he's her dad. You won't believe the twists and turns that are about to unfold.
Mr. Fritz, you state that over the last 30 years, you have searched to find your biological daughter, who you claim was taken from you as a child. However, just 4 months ago, this spree came to an end when you found Ms. Aji, whom you believe to be your daughter, on Facebook.
As the courtroom edges to the edge of their seats, Ms. Aji throws a curveball, doubting Mr. Fritz's claim as her father, insisting she knows her real dad, and it's not Mr. Fritz. She challenges Mr. Fritz's narrative, suggesting if his search was genuine, she would have been found much earlier. Strap in for the next clip. It's a doozy.
Ms. Aji, you say you know exactly who your biological father is and have come to court today to prove once and for all to Mr. Fritz that he is not your father. Why are you so adamant that Mr. Fritz is not your biological?
Well, first off, Your Honor, he's on a birth certificate.
Pulling at our heartstrings, Aji dives into her backstory, sharing tales of her youth, the mystery around her real dad, and the brief encounter with him at age 11. Despite the heartache of his absence, she holds onto the memory of promises unkept. But hold tight, there's more heart-tugging drama just around the corner.
The guy that's on my birth certificate was not my biological father. He was married to my mother, but I do know who my biological father is. I was about 8 or 9 years old, started asking questions about who my real father was, and my grandmother was the one who raised me. She told me my biological father was Buster. That's the only person she knew as my biological father. I went to the door, and it was Buster. At the time, I didn't know it was my father.
The air thickens as Mr. Fritz recounts his epic journey to find Ms. Aji, including an audacious escape from prison, just to see her as a baby. He whips out old photos in court, trying to jog her memory of their times together. Fasten your seatbelts, the emotional roller coaster is about to hit a steep drop.
I got sentenced and incarcerated. When I was being moved from one camp to another, I met a friend of mine. I said, hey man, when you get back in town, when you run by Angel's family, know that I've been transferred. After 3 months, I escaped from the penitentiary to go see my daughter, and at 2 months old, I went and seen my daughter.
In an unexpected plot twist, Mr. Fritz narrates how fate led him to Ms. Aji's Facebook profile. At the ripe age of 35, he reached out, sparking a connection that seemed destined by the digital gods. The story is heating up, so keep your eyes peeled for what's next.
The day that I met her, I was sitting at the house. I was on Facebook, and I just started messing with it. I started looking at relatives, this name, this name, this name. Shauna Angel. That's the name that come up with the numbers of the people I was looking at. I says, this is Danny Fritz, please contact me.
You contacted me. We were talking.
Right.
I thought you was an old school friend because I didn't even know you were my dad. I didn't recognize the name.
Testing the waters of their newfound relationship, Mr. Fritz steps up, offering financial help for Ms. Aji's daughter's cheerleading needs, showcasing his desire to be part of her life despite the rocky start. Guess what? The twists just keep coming.
I'm here to help you. I'm here to be your dad.
But you're putting out there that I asked you for money. I didn't ask you for no money. I told you what. And if you would have contacted me and asked me questions, I would have told you what went on.
But Miss Aji, you don't have your father or a man that believes he's your father for the money. And
But
his
he's making a
belief
big deal
that
about it.
he's
If he
your...
would've
I'm not making a
asked
big
me-
No,
deal
he
about it.
wasn't making a big deal about it. The point was just to say, I'm there. I was trying to give of myself.
Tensions mount as Ms. Aji airs her grievances, and skepticism about Mr. Fritz's paternal claims, fueled by years of disappointment and hurt. The emotional depth of their dispute is as complex as a labyrinth. Brace yourself. The revelations up next are jaw-dropping. Just when you think you've seen it all, the moment of truth arrives with the DNA results.
Again.
That's understandable. I can understand. I
Like
know
I
that.
said, I've been hurt.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
You
baby.
wasn't there.
On one hand, you say, I had my grandmother. She raised me. She gave me all I need. I don't need him. I don't want to be hurt
I didn't have a
again.
dad growing up. I didn't have a mom growing up. I had a grandmother that was my mom.
I am her
Mr.
daddy.
Fritz, you are her father.
Yes! That's what I'm saying.
Did she really just drop that bomb? Ms. Brown Ramirez confesses that her 9-month-old daughter might not actually be Mr. Wayne's. This bombshell sends shockwaves through the courtroom and kicks off a heated debate about trust and paternity that promises to be a roller coaster. Brace yourself, because the revelations are just heating up.
You state you have 3 children with him, but confess that your 9-month-old daughter may not be his biological child. Mr. Wayne, you argue that Ms. Brown Ramirez has lied and deceived you out your relationship.
Talk about lighting a fuse. Mr. Wayne accuses Ms. Brown Ramirez of fabricating her entire backstory from the day they met. His profound distrust and the emotional weight of discovering her numerous liaisons imply that their relationship might have been built on a foundation of quicksand. And guess what? Plot thickens in just a moment.
You lied about who you was, lied about how many people.
I lied about who
honest
she was?
about that, Your Honor.
Yeah, when I asked her about how many people she been
But
with
10
before
years,
me.
Your Honor, he knew this fact. I didn't force him to stay in this relationship. He decided to stay.
Most women lie about how many sexual partners they've had in the
Your Honor.
past.
Thank you.
Who brought the onions? Mr. Wayne dives deep, explaining his unwavering commitment to their tumultuous relationship due to his own lack of a father figure growing up. His poignant revelation shows his inner battle between his doubts about paternity and his desire to be a dad. Stick around, you're going to want to see what's next.
The whole reason me coming back to her while she was pregnant, my first child, is a simple fact of me not ever having a dad.
Family.
Yes.
That life you didn't have. You want to
Yes.
give
Yes.
Right, and so do I, Your Honor, but every day constantly accusing me of cheating, oh, you doing this and you doing that. Why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody like that?
This revelation is a doozy. Ms. Brown Ramirez spills the beans about the circumstances that cast doubt on the paternity of her youngest child. Having had a fling during a brief break with Mr. Wayne, she admits the baby's father might be not Mr. Wayne. Fasten your seatbelts. The next part is a real doozy.
Well, Your Honor, we were separated in the month that I had conceived, dealing with someone else. Being that I never had a father, I chose to go back to Mr. Wayne. He always manipulated me into being with him, saying, oh,
No,
you
you
know,
was just trying to take advantage of me. That's it.
you never had your daddy, you want your daughters to grow up to be like you. I don't understand why, you just want to go out and do this and do that and father for your children. But in all reality, I do.
Cue the dramatic exit music. In a heart-wrenching twist, Mr. Wayne threatens to pack his bags and leave if the DNA results don't point to him as the father. This moment highlights his torn feelings between perceived betrayal and his role in the child's life. But hold the phone. There's more drama just around the corner.
Who you want me to be, and I made that change to be with you. If she's not mine, I'm gonna walk away. But you've been in her life for the past 9 months. How can you just say I'm gonna walk away from a child that possibly is not mine?
How do you respond to that? Because truthfully, I understand your doubt, first off, but I feel almost as if you're at war. I keep going back to this woman because I want to be there for the children. I want to create this family.
Ready for a soap opera twist? Judge Lake steps in to dissect the couple's infidelity issues and how these have torpedoed their attempts to construct a stable family life. This powder keg of emotions and consequences really sets the stage for some eye-opening moments. The saga continues, and it's juicier than ever.
She's admitted that she's cheated. That's wrong. You've admitted you've cheated. That's wrong. You also say you want to make things better. You want to have the family, the children to have the family you didn't. If you want to do that, how can you do that and be verbally abusive to their mother? And I'm not saying you're doubt because you have a valid reason to be doubt, and she's
and we
admitted
discussed
that.
But if you don't want to be with me, just say that. You can still be there for your kids.
You can't make this stuff up. Mr. Wayne brings up his doubts about being the father based on the baby's looks, which he claims bear no resemblance to his. This typical paternity dispute trope gets a humorous twist with his insistence on facial features and skin tone comparisons. Just wait. The reaction is priceless.
Is that your doubt expression? Moving forward, you don't feel like there's any physical similarity. You don't see it.
I mean, I guess
One
it's her
day she
skin.
does look like him, and one day she doesn't.
I'm still battling
That's
with
his
it to this
theory.
day because it be points where I'm holding my baby and I'm like, she did say she probably not mine, and I start looking at her like, and it's kind of hard for me to be the father that I know I can be.
Are you feeling this tension? In a moving confrontation, Judge Lake questions Mr. Wayne's resolve to ditch his paternal role if the kids aren't his biologically, really probing into what fatherhood means to him. Don't wander off now. The climax is just up ahead.
If these children aren't yours, even though as their father, you're ready to bounce on these kids, that you're gonna leave.
You cheated, I found out about it. Hey, my baby already here. So I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be in my baby life. So do I skate out, bounce out like a coward like most people do? Do I try to strategize and come up with alternatives and stuff like that in order to keep me in these girls' life?
You won't believe this part.
It has been determined by this court that you are her father.
Thank you.
One wait. That's one wait.
Strap in for a roller coaster of emotions as Ms. Davis, after reconnecting with her ex-husband Mr. Simpson, is challenged with proving his paternity for their 2-year-old daughter Elizabeth. Amidst a backdrop of past indiscretions, Mr. Simpson, skeptical due to Ms. Davis's history of infidelity, is adamant on having a DNA test to prove he's not the father. Just when you think it's all been said, the courtroom temperature rises to scorching levels.
You say that after a rocky marriage and nearly 10 years separation, you reconnected with your ex-husband 3 years ago. You say Mr. Simpson is now denying he's your 2-year-old daughter Elizabeth's father.
You've got to see this to believe it. Mr. Simpson airs out his doubts about fatherhood due to Ms. Davis's track record, thrusting the trust issues in their relationship under a glaring spotlight. The court's collective jaw drops as the saga unfolds. But wait, it cranks up a notch in the next segment.
Mr. Simpson, you say that your ex-wife cheated on you multiple times and is incapable of being faithful. You say there is no way you are her daughter's father and DNA test will prove your case.
This part's a doozy. Ms. Davis takes the stand to defend her loyalty in the relationship, admitting to past flings but asserting her truthfulness each time. Their exchange lays bare the tangled roots of their relationship, shadowed by old betrayals and lingering doubts. Brace yourselves, because what comes next is even more mind-boggling.
I think it's ludicrous. He's being an idiot. I know that she is his, and I'm tired of our past coming into play.
I've known 11 times that she's cheated in a previous relationship.
11 times?
Yes, ma'am. And
She's cheated in your previous relationship?
previous relationships, yes.
And just when you thought the drama peaked, Mr. Simpson recounts a jaw-dropping story of catching Ms. Davis in the act of cheating. This bombshell highlights the profound issues and mistrust that have plagued their union from the start. But hold on to your popcorn. The revelations are far from over.
She tells me after I get off work to stay in the house. She's got somebody that come and visit her. I stay in the house. Somebody pulls in my driveway. I walk out and she's in the car making out with these people.
In front of your house?
Yeah.
Did you cheat on your husband 11 times?
No, I did not, but yes, I did cheat on him. We were married when I was 16 years old. I was just a kid.
Mr. Simpson debates whether Ms. Davis's transition into motherhood has truly transformed her, pointing out behaviors eerily reminiscent of her less than faithful past. This throws a wrench into any notions of resolved trust issues. Stay tuned, because the plot thickens even further in the moments to follow.
Did you feel like she had changed?
Yes, she had kids with other guys after we separated.
You felt like motherhood had matured her.
Yes, as it would anyone. There's a lot of coincidence, same as before, that she's going out, sitting in cars middle of the night. I get family and friends telling me that she's bringing guys in my house while
So wait,
I'm gone.
this is the second time around you say this, and all of the stories are still the same.
Yes.
As the stakes soar, the courtroom dives deeper into the complexities of their patched-up romance, scrutinizing their intimacy issues, trust quarrels, and the eyebrow-raising frequency of pregnancy tests. This discussion stirs up more questions than answers about the real timing and legitimacy of the pregnancy. The suspense is building, and you won't believe what's around the corner.
Things just wouldn't rise to the occasion because of all the stress that I was going through. All right, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
You said that very respectfully. I understand.
The first month we're together, she's taking a pregnancy test every week, once, twice a week.
Even though you couldn't form initially because of the stress, you see her taking pregnancy tests.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold the phone, it gets crazier. As the tension mounts, Mr. Simpson vents his ongoing skepticism about the paternity, incensed by Ms. Davis's supposedly reformed ways that seem all too familiar. This cycle of mistrust and accusations continues to haunt their shaky reconciliation. But wait, the next twist is a real kicker.
I have to say, I've kept my doubts because I've always this past in my head where, you know.
So the past is the past, though. I mean, at some point, once you rekindle the relationship, have to allow the past to be the past.
Yes, but you don't go through the same and over and
But
over.
you said the same were coming up,
Yes.
and you thought she was cheating
ma'am.
again.
Like of a
Just when you're catching your breath, Mr. Simpson throws a curveball by choosing to evict Ms. Davis in favor of his ex-wife moving back in, throwing their delicate relationship dynamics into chaos and underlining the fragility of their recent reconciliation. But that's not all. Gear up, because the emotional roller coaster takes another dive just ahead.
You said he let his ex come live in the house with you all?
Via text kicked me out. Pregnant to let his ex-wife move back in.
Oh,
to
this
be a
is
mother.
when you got angry when she got pregnant and you thought the baby wasn't yours.
wasn't like that. I mean, it was, I didn't think she was able to be truthful, faithful.
Grab your tissues for this heart-wrenching moment. As they discuss Elizabeth's future, Mr. Simpson reveals his profound emotional connection to her despite his doubts, showcasing a touching conflict between his affection and his suspicions. The courtroom is thick with emotion, and just when you think you've seen it all, the ultimate reveal is up next.
What are you feeling looking at your beautiful little girl?
I mean, she loves him, and he's a good dad. I wouldn't want a better dad for her.
So why are the tears in your eyes?
I just want all this to be done and over with, and that way we can move on with our life.
And all my family's straight. I've got Cherokee blood, and I don't know anybody in my family that...
Prepare for the grand finale. The climax hits with the DNA test results finally disclosed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Simpson, you are the father.
I'm sorry.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Ms. Eubanks steps up to the plate, claiming she's in court to prove Mr. Wilkes is the proud papa of 3-month-old Maisie, all to save their teetering relationship. She's not just sure, she's 1,002% sure he's the father, aiming for wedding bells once the DNA test confirms her story. Brace yourself, the drama is just heating up.
Ms. Eubanks, you say you are here to save your relationship with the defendant by proving is your 3-month-old son Mozzie's father. Say once today's DNA results prove you want to get married.
And here comes the curveball. Mr. Wilkes counters with a heavy heart, revealing his doubts about Maisie's paternity, noting a missing father-son spark he's always felt with his other kids. He's pinned his hopes on the DNA results, declaring it's make or break time for their relationship. The suspense thickens, so stay tuned.
You claim that when Mozzie was born, you hoped for a sign that he was your son. No matter how hard you look, it just wasn't there. Say negative paternity result will end your relationship.
Oh, the feels are real here. Ms. Eubanks dives deep into her emotional turmoil caused by the swirling paternity doubts. Tears in her eyes, she pleads her case, yearning to mend the fractures in their relationship caused by this gnawing uncertainty. Get ready, the emotional roller coaster is about to plunge deeper.
I want to save my relationship because we've been together too long. I'm 1,002% sure that he's my child's father. I just want these results for him so we can move forward and get married like we planned. It affected me tremendously.
I heard you well up with what are you feeling?
It's just emotional. Like, we've been together too long, so you shouldn't have no doubts or no feelings that anything else.
Things are getting spicy. Mr. Wilkes details his nightly vigils with baby Mozzie, staying up till the crack of dawn, hoping for a sign of paternal connection that sadly never arrives. His tale of sleepless nights and growing gray hairs at 30 paints a vivid picture of his strife. Up next, does the DNA dance bring them closer or pull them apart?
Your Honor, I'm here. I just need results. I'm tired of guessing, wondering, and things of that sort. And like she said, for so long, so I shouldn't have doubts, but I have my reasoning. It's just the connection. It wasn't there when he first came. Kids all give me certain signs, you know what I mean? I just didn't feel any type. You know, I even held him up. I did him like the little Simba.
Flashback time. Let's rewind to where it all began. At a strip club, no less, during a family member's birthday bash. It was love at first sight for these two partygoers, but the plot thickens as their love story hits a snag following the birth of their first child. What's next? It's more tangled than your earphones in your pocket.
The relationship started, we met each other at, we was there for a family member's birthday party. It was just love at first sight. Like, we was together ever since. After our first child was born, we had took a little, it's what he calls it, a so-called breakup.
Do you believe during that time dating other people?
She was definitely talking to other people at the time.
Cue the dramatic music. Mr. Wilkes whips out a bombshell, a video from Ms. Eubanks' phone that he believes shows her in a not-so-innocent light, dancing a bit too close with another man during their break. As the evidence plays, jaws drop. What will the judge make of this dance debacle? The next part is a must-watch.
I went through the phone one night and seen a video.
Uh-oh.
You the only eyes for me. Something that's showing me something totally different.
What? Let's take a look at the video.
We see that's her when she said she had eyes for me. This is during our little separation. That's her dancing. That's her. She's bent over. She just slapped the camera. That's a guy behind her. You can't really see it. Kind of see it? You see that grinding?
Here comes the moment of truth. Drum roll, please. The DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Wilkes, you are the father.
Ms. Englund begins her testimony by explaining that despite having a 6-year relationship and a 3-year-old son with Mr. Kaiser, he denies paternity of their 6-month-old son, Isaac. She expresses her intent to prove his paternity in court, and the plot thickens.
Ms. Englund, you say that you and Mr. Kaiser have been together years, have a 3-year-old son together, but claim he's now denying your 6-month-old son, Isaac, and you're here to prove that he is the father.
Mr. Kaiser counters Ms. Englund's claims by acknowledging their first child, but denies being the father of Isaac. He suggests that during a separation, Ms. Englund was involved with another man, whom he believes to be Isaac's father, setting the stage for a real soap opera.
You acknowledge one child with Ms. Englund, but say Isaac, you say that during your separation from Ms. Englund, you slept with another man, and you are 100% sure he is the father.
The judge delves into the relationship history as Ms. Englund explains their separation and subsequent reconciliation during which Isaac was conceived. This revelation sets the stage for the paternity dispute, highlighting the complex timeline of their relationship with a twist worthy of a daytime Emmy.
We were in a relationship 4.5 years before we finally split, and I went with the other man.
And so during that time, you had one child?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then during the split,
Isaac was conceived.
and so basically your relationship is complete. Like the stakes are high.
If it doesn't get solved today, I can't do it anymore. It's done.
Ms. Englund and Mr. Kaiser discuss their domestic life, with Ms. Englund arguing that despite working long hours, Mr. Kaiser did not provide adequate support at home, which led to disputes and her eventual departure. It's like a real-life sitcom, but with more at stake.
How is it his house and I'm working 12 hours to take care of the bills for that house? If he was supposed to be home taking care of the kids.
I interact with the kids all the time. The whole time she was at work.
I
I've been home
was
to
off
take care of the
working.
kids, y'all. She on the job messing around to take care of the kids.
I'm on the job messing around with another man. I'm 12 hours in a dog bed factory.
If that's how you got his phone number.
If you would have been taking care of business, no other man would have been able to even talk to me, but you were too busy fighting.
I understand that.
A key piece of evidence is discussed where Ms. Englund tries to establish a timeline of sexual encounters to pinpoint Isaac's conception date. She insists that the conception occurred during a time she was reunited with Mr. Kaiser, thereby suggesting his paternity. It's like a plot twist in a mystery novel.
Your Honor, on the 25th of March is the last time I had been sexual with the other man.
On the 25th of March,
Yes.
you were intimate with the other guy.
Yes, ma'am. On the 28th, me and Mr. Kaiser, we got back together. I came back where he was at with our children. The 29th, 30th, the 31st, and the 1st. Conception date is the 30th of March.
Ms. Englund points out a genetic trait, tongue tie, shared between Mr. Kaiser and Isaac, arguing it as evidence of paternity. The discussion extends to other genetic traits, complicating the case with medical details that may support her claim. It's turning into a full-blown genetics lecture with a twist.
That baby's also tongue-tied. Genetic trait.
Okay.
Same trait.
Okay.
And you're referring to a medical condition.
She don't know if that guy's father
That's not
is
true,
tongue-tied.
'cause
What if the other guy didn't have it, but his daddy had it? Should I tell you all
His daddy did not have it.
How does she know that, Your Honor?
Question.
How does she know that? She never met the other guy's father.
Dr. McLaurin, a medical expert, discusses the hereditary nature of tongue tie, suggesting that while there's a chance it could be inherited, it's not definitive proof of paternity. This expert testimony adds scientific perspective, but leaves some questions open, much like a cliffhanger in your favorite series.
Can you speak to this issue?
Well, the research is all over the place on a tongue tie. There is no research that says 100% that he has a tongue tie, his child will have a tongue tie.
The research I read said 50-50 if one parent carries it, 100% chance if both parents.
There is research out there that says.
Is there research that says otherwise as well?
Yes.
Amidst continuous arguing about past infidelities and misunderstandings, the tension in the courtroom peaks as both parties express their frustrations and grievances, painting a picture of a deeply troubled relationship. It's like watching a tennis match, but the ball is their accusations.
If baby Isaac is your biological child, mister, can you all move past all of this arguing over cheating? You all have been arguing
I don't cheat no more, y'all.
25
I don't want to cheat no more, y'all. I love this woman. You know what I'm saying?
It gets worse at the house.
Answer my question.
Can you repeat the question, y'all?
I know you didn't hear it.
The judge reveals the DNA test results, determining that.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kaiser, you are not father.
Are you sure?
I'm sorry.
You sure? Are you
I'm
sure?
so sorry.
Ms. Jones asserts that Mr. Joyner, her ex-boyfriend, fathered her 8-month-old daughter Hazel and now refuses to acknowledge or support the child. With a mix of exasperation and drama, Ms. Jones and her mother seek a court-ordered DNA test to establish paternity and compel Mr. Joyner to provide support.
Ms. Jones, you claim the defendant is an ex-boyfriend who got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 8-month-old daughter Hazel. You and your mother petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is Hazel's father, so he will finally step up.
Mr. Joyner denies being the father, citing his background as a responsible U.S. military veteran. Amidst his firm denial, he claims with a serious face that it is not his baby and remarks that their relationship was far from serious.
Mr. Joyner, you say you are a responsible U.S. military veteran who would never neglect a call and are 100% certain you are not child's biological father.
Mrs. Jones's mother takes the stage with gusto, testifying about her involvement in the couple's lives. She counters Mr. Joyner's previous statements with undeniable mom energy, emphasizing his significant involvement with their family, which contradicts his claim of a non-serious relationship.
He has not done anything. Babies cost a lot of money, and I'm a single mother, and I can't do it on my own, and Hazel really needs her dad in her life. He is her father. Since I was pregnant with her, I've been trying to reach out to him. Doctor's appointments coming up. Do you want to come? I mean, he just have no interest, really. I got pregnant with her.
Mrs. Jones details how she broke the news of her pregnancy to Mr. Joyner, who reacted with disbelief and silence before cutting communications, leaving a cliffhanger in the air. Her account leaves the audience and judge hanging on every word.
I called him and I was like, I got something to tell you. I'm at the hospital. He was like, don't tell me you're pregnant. I said, well, I'm pregnant. Like, he just sat on the phone silent, and then he said, I'm gonna call you back, and he never called me back. And I'm waiting for the phone to ring and no call back.
I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I know that she was having sex in that time frame of which, or it could have been the other guy.
How do you know this?
Because when she came to me and said she was pregnant, it might have been 3 weeks.
In an almost comedic turn of events, Mr. Joyner discusses his long history of unprotected intimate, but insists he's responsible. His defense against the judge's criticism adds a touch of irony to the proceedings.
Now, I thank you for your service, I will say that. Responsible? How are you having sex for 11 years and never using protection?
Who's to say I'm irresponsible? Okay, yeah, I could have.
I'm telling you are. For 11 years having sex and you're not using protect? Really?
I don't think that means I'm irresponsible.
You don't?
No.
Well,
No,
look, I'd rather be irresponsible than dead that too, having unprotected for 11 years.
Okay.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Just kidding, it's Mr. Joyner's mom. With a surprising twist, Mr. Joyner's mother enters the scene, fully convinced of Hazel's paternity based on family resemblance and interactions. She adds a heartfelt and personal touch to the unfolding drama. Don't go anywhere. The DNA results are up next, and they're a game changer.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
You know, we're here discussing baby Hazel,
Yes, ma'am.
her paternity, and Jones asserts that your son is her biological father. You believe that?
I do. They brought her to see me when she was 2 days old. Olivia, I didn't find out till 2 weeks before that she was pregnant. When you
So your
touch
son
a
never
baby,
told you?
No.
Never.
Grab your popcorn. The main event is here. The climax of the episode arrives as the DNA test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Joyner, you are father.
Yes.